All right. One of the biggest problems that being remote presents ourselves is it's going to make writing Greek a whole of a lot harder. It's hard enough to learn a new alphabet, but when you can at least handwrite it out, things are a bit easier. But since we're virtual, and while handwriting is an option, it's going to be important for us to be able to learn how to actually type in Greek. And I'll tell you, that's not something I learned how to do right away when I first was a Greek student. So it's an extra challenge to learn how to type Greek from the start. Our keyboards in the US don't have Greek letters on them. So what do? Do we spend forever searching up Greek characters and special characters? No. There are different things that we can use to type in Greek. And for my students, you have access to this big, awesome document of tech tips. And if you scroll down to the part about Greek keyboards and typing, you'll be able to find the links that I'm going to show you guys in this video. First, which is the most beloved of, I think, Greek typing resources, is this lovely website that's just called TypeGreek.com. You can type in your English keyboard and create beautiful Polytonic Unicode compliant Greek characters. Don't worry if you don't know what all those things mean. Basically, it means because Greek has accents and breathing marks on it, you can do those in TypeGreek.com. And since they're Unicode compliant, that means that a computer can actually read them, which you'd be surprised how many fonts there are that are out there that can't be read by a computer. So if you need to know, it will convert to Greek. There's a little alphabet key down here at the bottom that will teach you what you need to type in order to get the Greek alphabet. For the most part, it's pretty much one-to-one. Alpha is A, beta is B, and so forth. But there are a few weird Greek letters like eta, which is like a long A, long E sound. You use the letter H. So often they'll try to use something that at least looks somewhat similar. Theta, the TH sound, they use Q. C, which is a KS sound, they use the letter C for, since that we don't really have a letter C in the Greek alphabet otherwise. Phi, which is a PH or F sound, they use the letter F for. Key, it doesn't actually make an X sound, but it looks like an X, so they use X. It makes a CH sound. C, which is a PS sound, they use the letter Y for, since they don't have that otherwise in the Greek alphabet. And omega, which is the long O sound, they use the W because a lowercase omega actually looks like a W. When you get a little more advanced into Greek, you'll be familiar with accents. They may also see it referred to as a diacritic. You can use forward and backslashes to do different accents, an equal sign to do the circumflex accent, parentheses to do the different breathings. Iota subscript is that vertical bar. It's on the same key usually as your backslash, and a plus sign to use a diaresis. And there's different things, instructions on how to do capital letters. Often they'll use the asterisk before typing a letter to turn it into a capital. And it tells you what you need to do first in order to get those. So if we go back, I'm going to be using my own keyboard to type in, A, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, iota. So it's a pretty easy way to type some Greek. And now here's an alpha with a breathing mark. Here's an alpha with an accent, iota subscript. Here's an alpha with an accent. So it's pretty easy to get the hang of. My recommendation for getting good at typing Greek is just having, some text that you can copy over and over again until you get it. I learned to type Greek by spending a summer copying out scholia that were in an edition that we were trying to edit. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, more that another time. Sometimes people find it's difficult to copy and paste from TypeGreek.com into different applications. So you may want to just add a Greek keyboard to your computer, especially if you're going to spend, a whole year or more typing Greek. If you are an Apple user, there's a really convenient piece of software called Sophocles. You can download it. It's free. This was actually written by I believe it was an undergraduate who just decided to take Greek for a year. And he's like, this is annoying, I can't type in Greek. And he just wrote this code, and it's been on the internet ever since. This is what I use because I have a MacBook Air. And it's also the reason why I got a MacBook in the first place, because back when I switched computers 10 years ago, it was a lot easier to type in Greek than it was to type on a PC, or type Greek on a Mac than it was to type on a PC. And so you'll see there's really similar conversion principles of what you switch back and forth through, and it's pretty easy to install. If you've got a Chromebook, though, which a lot of students do, there is a great video out there on how to add keyboard layouts to a Chromebook, and you should be able to select Greek. And you can also add keyboard layouts to most PCs as well. You just got to make sure, if possible, to select a Polytonic keyboard. So I'm just going to demonstrate here soft keys for you guys in my little text edit app. So I have it installed on my computer, and I have it set. Usually you can change your language just where there's a little US button. You can also set yourself a keyboard command. So if I want to type the beginning of the and so forth. Right? And so it's really easy. You get really fast at it pretty quickly. So it's not bad at all. What you should do for sure is, if you're in a Greek class in the middle of a pandemic, learn how to type Greek. There's lots of great resources out there. And there's more if you just hop on the internet and search. So if you find any, feel free to comment on this video that you found some great resources out there, because we should all be typing Greek whenever possible. Thank you, guys.